vision of Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah.
Quan. Shalom. I'm gonna look at this shit real quick. Alright, man, but you know, I was just wanting to get straight to Obadiah. How y'all feeling, man? Kwam Yasharala, how y'all feeling? Pala Katawat. Man, I think we want to get over into Obadiah. Yeah, we want to check out Obadiah real quick. How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling alright? We all good? Somewhere in a secret, secluded place. How y'all feeling? Everybody good? What's on y'all mind, man? What's going on with Yasharala? What's going on with Yasharala, man? Huh? What's going on with Yasharala? I want to get over to Obadiah. We want to check out a little bit of Obadiah. Actually, we want to check out all of Obadiah. Alright, it's only one chapter, man. Okay, it's only 21 verses. 21 verses. But what I wanted to focus on in Obadiah, alright, maybe probably about 3 months ago, I hit you over the head with the real Ruach, man, about Psalms 83. Not Psalms 83, but Psalms 84. Alright, about the Valley of Weeping. Right, because we know we got Psalms 83 on deck and we got Psalms 84. Okay, so let's make sure we talking about the right one. Okay, we know one is about the contracts, the confederacies that was formed against you, right? And then one is about the Valley of Weeping, right? The Valley of Weeping. Okay. So Psalms 84 is the blessing. Okay. Psalms 83 is about the destruction. Right? So Psalms 83 is about they have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against, right, your hidden ones, right? Okay. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are a confederate against you. Okay. The 10 horns of Dan. Okay. Like Daniel 7:7. John said these kings would be confederates, all right, with the Antichrist, the beast. Okay, in Revelation 17:12. All right, so we're talking about the tabernacles of Edom, okay, and Ishmaelites, the Ishmaelites and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Jabal and Ammon and Amalek and the Philistines, okay, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined in with them. They have helped the children of Lot, okay? They have helped the children of Lot, okay? So, but then in Psalms 84, okay, we talking about the tabernacles of the Lord. So in Psalms 84, so when you get down to verse 4, we talking about blessed are they who dwell in your house. Okay, they will be still praising you. Selah. Blessed is the man whose strength is in you, in whose heart are the ways of them. 6. who passing through the valley of Baca, make it a well. The rain also fills the pools. They go from strength to strength, meaning that more and more, thousands upon thousands, every one of them in Zion appears before God. Okay, every one of them in Zion appears before Hawa. Okay, O Lord of hosts, hear my prayer. So they go from strength to strength. Every one of them appears before Zion, strength to strength, strength to strength. Huh? Oh yeah. Yeah, what's his name? Swagger. So yeah, strength to strength. So that's thousands upon thousands. That they'll go to a place from strength to strength, that they'll go to a place called Zion and appear before God. Okay? So that's what I wanted to jump into when we're talking about Obadiah. Because what I wanted to focus on in Obadiah is the fact that, let's go to Obadiah and I'll show you. It's the same thing. It's congruent as far as Obadiah 1:17. But on Mount Zion shall be deliverance. It will be holy, and Jacob will possess his inheritance. So let's go to Obadiah so we can read that for ourselves and see it with our own eyes and be able to get Hawa's understanding. Right? So when you get to 17, right? Edom's violence against Jacob, the day of the Lord is near. So when you get to 1:17, it says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness. Okay? And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Okay, the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them, and devour them, and there shall not be remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken. Okay, so it's letting you know right there what it's letting you know in Ezekiel, what it's letting you know all over the Torah. Okay, so but we want to start it off from the beginning so we could get an understanding of what Obadiah is talking about when he's talking about Edom will be humble. Now this goes right into your limitations, because that's what the children are supposed to be doing, right? Repenting and lamenting. Yeah, so we can get the spiritual law within us to understand what it is that we must do. We must halak. We must halak. Halak is to walk. So look, man. Y'all get y'all fringes. Those of you who are true in this walk. Get your fringes. It's time to really make a pilgrimage. So that's what this drop is about, man. It's about making that halak. Alright? To the valley of Baca. Where is the valley of Baca? Alright, if you know, I told you way back, but now it's the time to go to the valley of Baca. So come the new year, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to seek his face on Mount Zion. Okay? Now, yes, Yeharushalom is where the people are, but we talking about, listen, the Lord said you will gather, okay, thousands upon thousands, and we'll get into that. But we're going to get into this Obadiah, where Obadiah sets everything clear about what you must do. So those who have an ear, you're going to hear, you'll hear. But the time is now, so I'm gonna shoot y'all my email. Those of you that are in the scriptures, that are showing themselves approved, can understand and can hear the cry out, and also is crying out themselves to our people to let them know that we must make a pilgrimage 3 times a year. Okay, 3 times a year have we done that. So the real Ruach, in order to be saved, is to have Passover with our Lord. So therefore, y'all think about it. I've already thought about it. It's time to get your passports, because Mount Zion is not here. Mount Zion is not here according to the scriptures. It's not here. We're going to have to leave Babylon. This is one of the cities of Babylon, especially we in the cities, man. Cities. But the thing is, this ain't Mount Zion. Okay? So we must make a pilgrimage to the Valley of Weeping. Alright? So, y'all think about it. I'm going to hit you over the head. And we getting our list together, man. We out of here. All praise, the Lord's willing. All praise, Hawa. With the strength of the Meshiach. But we're going to get into it. So let's check out this Obadiah, man. Let me take my face off the screen so we can have some room to do our thing. But yeah, man, it's real out here, man. It really is. And if you believe in the truth, if you know, if you have discernment, if Hawa has given you discernment, all right, through our Hameshiach, that strength, all right, through your Hameshiach, then you understand that you must get up and halak and walk and go on a pilgrimage to see the Most High. It's a designated place, a secret place. A secret place for his children. Alright, so we're going to get into it. And in the meantime, y'all get y'all passports. Alright? Get your passports and prepare yourself to see Hawa. In the new year, it's only a couple months away. But the time is now. Alright, so Shalom, and y'all check out this Obadiah.
Behold, I have made thee small among the heathens. Thou art great in despise. The pride of thy heart has deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring thee down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathens. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall the heathens drink continuously. They shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau a stubble, and they shall kindle in them, and devour them, and there shall be no remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it.
Shalom, shalom. So yeah, we want to get into Obadiah. Obadiah is real specific, and that's why we're getting into it, to be descriptive, because we want to show Hawa judges those who have harmed his people. You know, and Obadiah being a servant and a worshiper of Hawa, of the Lord. But to whom this is written is written to the Jews, but it's also written to the Edomites, right? The Edomites, right? And it's the Jews in Judah and Hawa's people everywhere. So that's why I want to jump into it, because this is just, you know, congruent with Lamentations and Ezekiel and the prophet Jeremiah. So this was possibly written during Jeremiah's ministry, during the reign of Jehoram. Remember, the kingdoms had split, and Jehoram was over one of the kingdoms, the kingdom over the kingdom of Israel, of Yeharushalom. So basically, historically, Edom had constantly harassed Israel and Judah prior to the time this book was written, and they had participated in attacks against Judah. Given the dates above, this prophecy came after the division of Israel, into the northern and southern kingdoms, and before the conquering of Judah by Nebuchadnezzar. So the day is near when I, Hawa, will judge the godless nations, as you have done to Israel, as you have done to Yeharushalom. So it will be done to you. All your evil deeds will fall back on your own heads. Okay? Now the key people where it's talking about is Edom and heathen nations. Okay? And first of all, the heathens also that is called by Hawa's name. So that would mean Yeharushalom too. Okay, so this is to all nations of heathenness. You understand? So the key places is Edom and Yeharushalom. So but just a little more, like wrinkled face, tiny hands with fingernail chips, folds of new skin and miniature eyes, nose and mouth. Like, it's a newborn. It's a baby. It's your baby, right? After months of formation, she bursts forth into the world and into her family or his family, the baby, right? She has her mother's eyes. You know, I can sure tell who her parents are. Now that your nose has mother eyes, but your nose, relatives and friends gaze into the little face and see mom and dad inside your baby's face. Mother and father rejoice in their daughter or their son. Both is a beautiful miracle. A new member of the family. As loving parents, they will feed, protect, nurture, guide, and discipline their young. This is their duty and joy. So it's the same thing when it comes to Hawa. Hawa too has children, men and women, who he has chosen as his very own. There have always been individuals marked as his. But with Abraham, he promised to build a nation. He promised to build a nation. Yasharallah, Jacob, Israel, right? From Jacob, from Yaakov to Israel, from Yasharallah to Yasharallah, right? Was to be Hawa's country and his people, the Jews, right? Judah, the children of Judah, the children of Israel, his very own sons and daughters, right? The 12 tribes, his very own sons and daughters, down through the centuries. Hawa meted out discipline and punishment, but always with love and mercy. Hawa, the eternal Father, protected and cared for his children. So Obadiah, the shortest book in the Old Testament, is a dramatic example of how Hawa's responds to anyone who will harm his children. Edom was a mountainous nation, occupying the region southeast of the Dead Sea, including Petra, the spectacular city discovered by archaeologists a few decades ago. As descendants of Esau, if you go to Genesis 25:19, okay, or 27:45, from 19 to 27, okay, the Edomites were blood relatives of Yasharallah. Okay, and you know the story, right? You know we have shared ancestry. Okay, remember you got Abraham and Sarah, then they have Isaac and Rebekah have Jacob and Esau. They have Jacob and Esau. And so, and you know the things through the birthrights and all those things, but the thing is that when the time came, Edom ravaged Israel. And now we're at a turn of the page. We're at a turn of time in history, where now Esau's destruction is upon his head. So we're breaking that down. So if you go to Genesis 25 and 19 through 27, you'll see that the Edomites were blood relatives of Israel, okay? Which everyone knows that. And like their father, they were rugged, fierce, and proud warriors with the seemingly invincible mountain home. Of all people, they should have rushed to aid. They should have rushed to aid of their northern brothers, right? They should have rushed to aid of us during the time of our destruction and invasion. But instead, however, they gloated over Israel's problems. They gloated over our problems, Yasharel. Captured and delivered fugitives to the enemy, and even looted our countryside. So, in this passage, Obadiah gives Hawa's message to the Edomites because of their indifference to and defiance of Hawa, their cowardness and pride, and their treachery toward us, the brothers in Judah. They stood condemned and would be destroyed. Because of that, they stood condemned. Hawa condemned them and would destroy them. The book begins with an announcement that disaster was coming to Edom. That's how it's going to start. Despite their impregnable cliffs and mountains, and they would not be able to escape Hawa's judgment. So Obadiah then gave the reasons for their destruction, okay? And we'll get into that. Their blatant arrogance, right? Their blatant arrogance towards Hawa, and their persecution of Hawa's children. Their persecution of El Shaddai, his children, his seed, his only begotten son, his firstborn. Okay? This concise prophecy ends with a description of the day of Hawa, when judgment will fall on all who have harmed Hawa's people. So today, Hawa's holy nation is his children, is his church, Israel and Judah, all who have trusted Christ for their salvation, all who have trusted in the Hamashiach, Yahusha Meshiach, David, Eleazar, Elijah, Enoch, Moshe, spiritual law, Ruach, all who have trusted for their salvation and have given their lives to him. These men and women are Hawa's born and adopted children, the ones who seek Zion, the city of David, the house of David, Baal Hashem. So let's catch this glimpse of what it means to be Hawa's child. Okay, under his love and protection. So let's see how the Heavenly Father responds to all who would attack those whom he loved. So when we get to this verse 1, let me get to it in the book real quick. Amos. So this is Edom's fall predicted, right? Edom will be humbled. His fall is predicted. I want Edom to marinate on that. And I want Israel to know, steadfast, Yasharallah, Guam. So the vision of Obadiah, thus said Hawa, concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Hawa, and an ambassador is said among the heathen, arise and let us rise up against her battle. Okay, now they're going to rise up against her battle. Alright, so it's saying, now this vision, right? Thus said Hawa concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Hawa, and the ambassador is sent among the heathen. Okay, arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Okay. Behold, I have made you small among the heathen. You are greatly despised. The pride of your heart has deceived you. You who dwell in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, who says in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? So basically, Edom feels as though, they're superior over Israel and Jacob. They feel real superior. They believe that, they were superior and they participated in our destruction. So basically they They self-exalted themselves. So the pride of your heart has deceived you. You who dwell in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitations is high up, who says in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though you exalt yourself as the eagle, though you exalt yourselves as the eagle, and though you set your nest among the stars, thence I will bring you down, says Hawa. If thieves came to you, hold on 1 second. If thieves came to you, if robbers came to you, if robbers by night, how are you cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to you, would they not leave some grapes? So it's basically Obadiah saying, what you done to Israel and Judah, particularly Judah, you didn't leave nothing for them. The children of Judah, you didn't leave nothing. You didn't leave us nothing. You took everything and gave us nothing. And it's going to explain that. Okay? You signify violence upon us. Heavily taxed. I mean, you were robbers and thieves amongst us. So the reason for the judgment is explained by the sin of Edom. No restoration, remember? So how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? So remember, in the last days, there'll be a restoration for Israel, Yasharel, and Judah, right? But for Esau, no. His sins will be revealed to Yasharel and, you understand? And Judah. So we slow rolling with this so you can really understand what's going on. So all of the men of your confederacy have brought you even to the border. The men who were at peace with you have deceived you and prevailed against you. They who eat your bread have laid a wound under you. There is none understanding in him. Okay? So you know they're talking about Moab, Ammon, Tyre, Zidon, right? Who joined together to resist Nebuchadnezzar and were smoten by him. Okay, that's in Jeremiah 27:3. Edom sent ambassadors to these allies asking for help, but the messengers were conducted back to their borders. So, and the request was not granted. So Edom is going to ask for help, but they will not get any in the last days. Again, okay? Because they entangled themselves in their fate. So in the last days, Edom is going to try to do everything to change his fate, but nothing is going to work. So when we get down to verse 8, it says, shall I not in that day, says Hawa, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? Okay, they will lack all wisdom. They will lose all understanding. Okay? There is none understanding in him. Okay? So they're not going to know where to turn or what to turn to during their day of destruction. So in your mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that everyone of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Okay, everyone, everyone, everyone may be cut off. Okay. O Teman shall be dismayed, Teman, to the end that everyone of Mount of Esau may be cut off by the slaughter. To the end, okay? To the end. So that's saying you will perish. Okay? So it tells us that they do not go quietly in the dark night. So for your violence against your brother Jacob, shame shall cover you, and you shall cut off forever. You will be cut off forever. So this is Edom's violence against Jacob. For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. This is Jacob. We talking about descendants, man. Okay? The Baru. We understand what's going on. Alright? The Bani. The coming together of Israel and Judah. The Bani. That band together. In that day that thou stoodest on the other side, in that day that the strangers carried away captive, his forces and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Yeharushalom, even thou. You was with them. My brother, you was with them. You was with them, Esau. Remember y'all asked us to sing a song? Sing y'all a song about Mount Zion. Right? But thou shouldest not have looked on that day of thy brother in that day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in that day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in that day of distress. You spoke proudly against us, Esau, Edom, my brother. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Okay, yeah. Thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in that day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in that day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. I mean, so we're clearly just talking about basically everyone that was against Israel and Judah in that day of destruction. Remember the destruction of the Jews. So even though we as Judah had greatly sinned and was suffering the judgment of Hawa, still Hawa looked. He looked. All right, he looked with his eye at those of us who would seek to further hinder them, as Edom did. Edom wanted to end us over jealousy and wickedness. And go back to 2 Kings and you can see all over in 2 Kings, that's what Kings was about. Edom and even Israel and all the other heathen nations never wanted us to come back to our Creator. Come back to our function. Come to our function of completeness. And so, let's check out, even in the very beginning. Now, when we talking about, we know of the Negro descendants and the Native Americans and all our peoples that went through the atrocities of slavery. All the children of Noah that went through the atrocities of slavery. But in particulars with Esau, let's check out Numbers 20, 14, and 20 real quick, because it's going to give you some example of Edom in particular, putting harsh judgment upon his brother Yasharel in Judah. And you can see, let's go to Numbers real quick. Numbers 20, real quick, 14 through 20. Alright. Okay. Edom refuses passage. Okay. So that's just basically tell you, and Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus said thy brother, okay, thy brother Israel, thou knowest, okay, all that travail that have befallen us. Okay, this was when at the beginning, when we were at war. You understand? And we were escaping, running, whatever you call it. We were trying to escape, and we had to go through the lands of Edom to get to where we were going. But he wouldn't allow us passage. How our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelt in Egypt a long time. And the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers. And when we cried unto Hawah, he heard our voice and sent an angel, okay, and have brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost border, okay, of thy border. Okay, so they're in Kadesh. Okay, let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields, nor through the vineyards, nor will we drink any of water from the wells. We will go straight through. We won't look anywhere. We'll go straight through to where we're going. And Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out with a sword against you. Okay, and Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out with a sword against you. All right. Shalak. Come out with a shalak. Right? With a shalak. Okay? Thee with a sword. Okay, is cherub. Cherub. Currab. A cutting instrument. Currab. Okay? Okay, and the children of Israel said unto him, we will go by a highway, okay, and if my cattle drink of thy water, I pay you. All right, I will only, without doing anything else, go through on my feet. And he said, thou shalt not even go through. And Edom came out against him, and much of the people, and with a strong hand. Okay. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border, wherefore Israel turned away from him. All right, and that was right before the death of Aaron, where Eleazar, had transferred the priest's clothing from Aaron to. Okay. So we understand. Let's go to 2 Kings so we can get a better description. 2 Kings, I think that's 2 Kings 25. Let's go to 2 Kings 25. And so I can show you a better description of the relationship between Esau, how Esau treated us, how Esau treated Israel and Judah. Okay? 1 second. So 2 Kings 25. Okay, the fallen captivity of Judah, right? This was in those last days, the fallen captivity of Judah. Okay, and we'll go over to Psalm so we can get a better picture, because, see, for one thing, is for the indigenous people of the Americas, understand that this is talking about them. The northern and southern tribes, this is talking about them. Okay, this is talking about your Cherokee, your Choctaw, your Seminole, your Creek. Okay, and your Chickasaws. This talking about you. So we must know that already, and you have to understand that it's about tribing up. Okay, with your descendants. So when you talk about 2 Kings and 25, you can look how it all went down. And it came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, okay, in the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came, he and all his hosts, against Yeharushalom, and pitched against it, and they built forts against it round about. Okay. And the city was besieged until the 11th year of King Zedikiah. So in the 9th, and on the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine prevailed in the city, and there was no bread for the people of the land. There was no bread, there was a famine. Okay, after the invasion, and the city was broken up, and all the men of the war fled by night, by the way of gate between two walls, which by the king's garden. Now the Chaldees were against the city round about, and the king went the way toward the plain. Okay, and the army of the Chaldeans pursued after the king, and overtook him in the plains of Jericho, and all his army were scattered from him. So they took the king and brought him up to the king of Babylon, to Riblah, and they gave judgment upon him. And they slew the sons of Zedikiah. Do y'all know who Zedikiah was, man? They slew the sons of Zedikiah. They slew his sons before his eyes and put out his eyes. They put both of his eyes out. Right? Like the same story of Samson, right? And bound him with fetters of brass and carried him into Babylon. Okay? This is the last besiege. This is the last invasion. Okay, this is Judah after Israel, the southern kingdom, going into exile. Okay. And in the 5th month, one of the 7th day of the month, was the 19th, the king Nebuchadnezzar and the king of Babylon. King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came Nebuzaradan, captain of the guard, a servant of the king of Babylon, into Yeharushalom. Okay, and he burnt the house of the Lord, and the king's house, and all the houses of Yeharushalom, and every great man's house burnt he with fire. So he set siege to the land. And all the army of the Chaldeans that were with the captain of the guard brake down the walls of Yeharushalom round about. Now the rest of the people that were left in the city, and the fugitives that fell away to the king of Babylon, with the remnant of the multitude, did Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, right, of Nebuchadnezzar, carry away. So he carried them away. Okay, so remember, he carried them away. The only ones he left in the land was the poor ones. But the captain of the guard left of the poor of the land. Okay, he left the poor to the vine dressers and husbandmen. And the pillars of brass that were in the house of the Lord, and the bases, and the brazen seat that was in the house of the Lord, did the Chaldeans break in pieces, okay, and carried the brass to Babylon. And the pots, and the shovels, and the snuffers, and the spoons, and all the vessels of brass wherewith they ministered, okay, they took away. And the frying pans, and the bowls, and such things as were of gold, in gold, and of silver, in silver, the captain of the guard, all right, of Nebuchadnezzar took it away. Okay, the two pillars, one sea, the basins of Solomon had made for the house of Lord. The brass of all these vessels was without weight. The height of one pillar was 18 cubits, and the chapiter upon it was brass, and the height of the chapiter 3 cubits, and the wreathen work, and the pomegranates upon the chapiter round about all the brass, and like unto these had the second pillar with the wreathen work. And the captain of the guard took it. Sariah the chief priest, and Zephaniah the second priest, and the 3 keepers of the door. And out of the city he took an officer that was set over the men of war, and 5 kings of presence which found this city, and the principal scribe, and the host which mustered the people of the land, and 80 men of the people of the land were found in the city. Okay. So he took these people and brought them to the king of Babylon, to Riblah. And the king of Babylon smote them and slew them. He killed them at Riblah in the land of Hamath. So Judah was carried off. Judah was carried away out of their land. And all was left was the poor people. Doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound familiar? I know it do. I know it do. So, before we go any further, okay? Before we go any further, so I want to go over the Psalms once, real quick, Psalms. Because it's real. I want to show you how real it gets. Because it's going to get real familiar. Alright? Let's get over the Psalms. Let's get over the Psalms. Psalms, we're going to 137. Man. Psalms 137. Let's go to 137. So how shall we sing the Lord's song? Okay, it's gonna put you right where you need to be. How shall we sing the Lord's song? Okay. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yeah, we wept when we remembered Zion. Zion, the city of David. We hang our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. Remember David's harp. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song. And they that wasted us required us to mirth, to be joyous, to be glad, saying, Sing us one of the songs of Zion. So our enemy was asking us or demanding us to sing them songs of Zion while we being pillaged and carried away into captivity. For there they that carried us away captivity required of us a song. Okay? A song of Zion. So how shall we sing Hawah's song in a strange land? Okay? If I forget thee, O Yeharushalom, let my right hand forget. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth, if I prefer not Yeharushalom above my chief joy. Okay? Remember, Hawah, the children of Edom. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem. Okay? Who said, Rasi, Rasi. Rasi, it even to the foundation thereof means tear it down, burn it down, tamut it all the way to the, till us no more. Okay, to the foundation. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. So it's telling you in that time that even our children were being slammed against rocks in our Talmud, destroying us. So when we get over to back to Obadiah, now we can understand the sins of Esau. We can understand the sins of Edom. We can understand the sins of Israel. We can understand our sins. So let's get back to Obadiah. Sorry it's taken so long. Okay. So we want 15 because 15 turns over a little bit. So the day of the Lord, Hawah, is near. Okay, so in 15 it turns over because now we're talking about all nations. Okay, judgment on all nations. Any of you niggas acting like heathens, is going to be judgment upon you. Any niggas you praying like heathens, worshiping like heathens, it's going to be, you understand, living like, it's going to be judgment upon you. Okay, so let's get into 15. Let's get it popping. Let's speed it up real quick. Hold up 1 second.
The vision of Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord, Esau finna learn. Jacob the fireman and Esau finna burn. I know it might upset you, but it won't change. Finna put a hurtin' on them that was dwelling in them caves. Obadiah verse 10, you cut off for all your violence. Truth coming out, ain't no more keeping silent. The one that exalts itself as the eagle. Cut off forever, man, for hurt God's people. All that pride in your heart deceive your own mind. When we become fire, you gon' be gone in no time. Thus saith the Lord, so you know it's no line. Ain't nothing you can do, so ain't no use for no trying. All my people that's listening need to wake up. Happy as he that's from the seed of Jacob. I woke up out of sleep, now I'm trying to stay up. They destroyed our nation, now they gotta pay up. Into your friendly Mr. Rogers. Guess what? He gon' have some problems. Ain't nothing you can do, so why even try to bother? They all paying for the sins of their forefathers. But that was then, this is now, that's what he thought. Lord said ain't gon' be no remaining of Esau. And that's prophecy spoken up out of God's mouth. You set your nest among the stars, but it's gon' be brought down. Ain't no changing that. Can't wait for the day the Lord bring Jacob back. After Esau done serving, then his line gon' stay flat. Thus saith the Lord, so ain't no changing that. The vision of Obadiah. 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 vision of Obadiah.
Okay, Shalaki, let's go on. The day of the Lord, Hawah, is near. So Obadiah 1 and 15. But hold up 1 second. Okay, so that's what we talking about. We were talking about Edom's destruction. So this book of Obadiah shows the outcome of the ancient feud between Edom and Israel. Edom was proud of his high position, but Hawah would bring her down. Those who are high and powerful today should not be overconfident in themselves. Whether they are a nation or a corporation or a church or a family, you understand? Just as Edom was destroyed for his pride, so will anyone be who lives in defiance of Hawah. You understand? Who transgresses Hawah. Okay? So, as we know, that this is a vision of the sovereign Lord revealed to Obadiah concerning the land of Edom. Okay, so Edom's judgment has been announced. Okay, we have heard a message from Hawah that an ambassador was sent to the nation to say, get ready everyone. Let's assemble our enemies and attack Edom. Okay? Hawah says, I will cut you down to size among the nations, Edom. You will be small and despised. Okay, you are proud because you live in a fortress. Okay, so we you know what I'm saying? We went through that. Alright, so now let's get into the second half. Okay, so the justice is, the explanation is, okay, Obadiah predicted that Hawah would destroy Edom as punishment for standing by when Babylon invaded Judah. You understand it? Because of their treachery, Edom's land will be given to Judah in the day when when he rights the wrongs against his people. Okay, because of their seemingly invincible rock fortress, the Edomites were proud and self-confident, but God humbled them. Hawah humbled them and will humble them, and their nation disappeared from the face of the earth. You understand? So the importance is Hawah will judge and fiercely punish all who harm his people. All who harm his people.
That does not fail.
You understand? That God will judge and fiercely punish all who harm his people. We can be confident in Hawah's final victory. He is our champion, and we can trust him to bring about true justice. So all those who defy Hawah will meet their doom as Edom did. Any nation who trusts in basically Edom and any other heathen nation, or power or wealth or technology or wisdom or even astrology, okay, or any stones, okay, for wisdom more than in Hawah will be brought low. Okay? All who are proud will one day be shocked to discover that no one is exempt from Hawah's justice. Okay? No one. No one. Bar Hashem. Alright, so let's get into the second half. Is 15. Let's get into this 15. Let's finish it up. Remember, it's only 21. So this is basically Edom in the day of the Lord in their faith, okay? In their fate. Okay, so it says, for the day of Hawah is near upon all the heathen. Okay? Upon all the heathen. Okay? All the heathen, foreign nation, Gentile animals, dogs, alright, nation, people. It shall be done until thee, thy reward shall return upon thy own head. Upon thy own head. Okay? You know what that means. Upon thy own head. Heathen nations. Okay, for as you have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah. They shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Okay? They won't exist anymore. That's what Hawa is saying. So Israel's ultimate triumph and restoration. 17 says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. Okay? And there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possession. Now, this is the basic thing. Alright, and this is what people have to understand. The fact that before the destruction, before the destruction of Esau, we must be upon Mount Zion. But upon Mount Zion shall be delivered. Okay, and there shall be holiness. We must make Mount Zion holy. It is not, it's the people, it's God's land. We must make it holy. And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Okay, this is Israel's ultimate triumph. And this is where we basically going to talk about seeking Zion. Okay, so you got Obadiah even breaking it down and hitting you over the head. And he's letting you know, but upon Mount Zion, okay, upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Okay, we talking about the restoration, the prosperity of the house of Jacob. Okay, the entire land from the Euphrates to the river of Egypt promised to Abraham. Okay, so it shall become the possession of his children. Now we talking about a real land, family. All of this will take place in the coming kingdom age. We talking about some real stuff, spiritually and physically. Remember what happens in, come on man, what happens in the spiritual happens in the physical. You got to know that. All right, when it's talking about angels and dracoons in the spiritual, it's talking about you in the physical. You got to know that. You got to know that. So, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. So Jacob and Joseph a flame of fire. And the house of Esau for a stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them. So you basically, you know, so Hawa has riddles. He's basically saying you'll be a stubble, like wood, a stubble of wood, and we will devour you with the fire and the flame. And there shall not be any remaining in the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. He spoke it. He spoke it. So, and they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain, the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead. Okay? True land descendants possessing. Jubilee. And the captivity of his host of the children of Yasharallah shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath. And the captivity of Yeharushalom, which is in Sepharad or Telarad, shall possess the cities of the south. Sepharad. And saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mountain of Esau. And saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be Hawah's. And this is so beautiful because it's talking about in real time. We're in the perfect place. We're in the perfect place. So when you talk about 1 and 17, kingdom of the Lord, though. Okay, you talk about all our possessions, okay? The south possessing the mount of Esau, and they of the plain of Philistines shall possess the fields of Ephraim, okay, and Samaria, and Gilead. Okay, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Alright? Shall possess their possessions. So you mean to tell me that this is it'll be Jubilee. It'll actually be getting our antiquities back. Our antiquities. And I read that where a lot of that stuff was taken back to Babylon, right? So it'll be a beautiful thing that our land will be given back. Mount Zion will be holy with us in it. And that's a beautiful thing because we're talking about a Pacific place, Valley of Weeping. Okay, the city of David, house of the Lord. Okay, so that's where we're going to go to next. As far as understanding the literal sense of but upon Mount Zion. But upon Mount Zion, because okay, this next one I'm going to start off with Hebrews. Okay, so if we go to Hebrews, alright, it's going to show you how we still talking the same Ruach of the prophets. Okay, 12 and 22. Jesus, Yeshua, founder and perfecter of our faith. Okay, so in Hebrews 12, 22, what are we talking about? We're going to spit that root, right? What are we talking about? A kingdom that cannot be shaken, right? So 12 and 22, what is it talking about? But ye are come into the Mount of Zion. Okay, so this is your prophecy, right? The prophecy for Israel and Judah and all who want to be saved, right? Saved from what, Hiram? Saved from death. But ye are come into Mount Zion, okay, and unto the city of the living God, the city of the living God, Mount Zion, and the heavenly Yeharushalom, the heavenly Yeharushalom, the heavenly Yeharushalom, the city of Hawa, the Mount Zion. We know Mount Zion, the city of David, is in the same place. So we know that's the city of the living God, the heavenly Yeharushalom, Baal Hashem, and to the innumerable company of his angels, the innumerable company of his angels, thousands upon thousands, okay, to the general assembly and church of his firstborn, which are written in heaven, okay, the church of his firstborn, which are written in heaven, and to Hawa, the judge of all, and to the spirits of the just men made perfect, Baal Hashem, and to Yeshua, the mediator of the covenant. Oh, this is beautiful. Baal Hashem, Abba Hawa, Yehoshua, HaMashiach. Remember, we got a secret place of the Most High, and now it's time to go. Oh yeah, it's time to go. So listen, man, I'm taking a list. I'm checking it twice. I'm just messing with you. But let me know who's making that pilgrimage, man. I'm gonna come back and finish off hitting you over the head with the with this Hebrews. But I'm hitting you over the head with basically everywhere that basically tells us to go seek him, to come seek him, to get up, halak, to go seek him in the city of David, the valley of weeping, Mount Zion. Okay, the new Yeharushalom. Okay, so, and it's easy because the reason why we know that this ain't, because it's a bunch of things that have to be taking place, man. There's a bunch of things that have to be taking place for the connections to add up as far as Mount Zion. A bunch of things have to add up. So, and that's what we want to basically get into, because I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, all right, an inheritor of my mountains, and my elect shall inherit it, and all my servants shall dwell there. Okay, we talking about Lasharon. Lasharon has to be there. The valley of Akor has to be there. You understand? Certain things have to be there for it to be a completion. Okay? It has to be there. And remember, we must keep the Torah. But remember, we were told to wash in Jerusalem, bathe in Jerusalem, wash in Jerusalem, to be numbered in Zion. So we must go and help for the rebuild of the temple, like the Feast of Lights. We must go have the Shabbat, have a Passover with the Creator. Okay? We must seek Zion. We must sacrifice a lamb out of captivity. Okay? Before the house of David, at the house. So therefore, man, you must understand that we must seek Hawa. And if we don't seek Hawa, then we doing what Jeroboam wanted us to do. Remember when they split the kingdom? Remember when they split the kingdom? When they split the kingdom, man. When they split the kingdom, I think that's in 1 Kings. Okay, Jeroboam, remember, didn't want us to go and seek the Lord in Zion. He didn't want us to go to the special place. Alright. So, Baal Hashem, we're just going to do Shabbat Shalom. We're just going to do, we're going to go. So let's go to 1 Kings 12 and I think 27. 1 Kings 12 and 27. Okay, let me see. Okay, the kingdom divided, right? Okay, this is where the kingdom was divided. So when we get down to at least Jeroboam's golden calf, okay? 12 and 25. Then Jeroboam built Shechem and Mount Ephraim and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Peniel, right? And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. Okay, and Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. If this people, okay, if Israel go up, if this people go up and do sacrifice in the house of the Lord, okay, remember, return to the house of David. So, if the people go upon to do sacrifices in the house of the Lord at Yeharushalom, then shall the heart of this people turn again into their Lord. Alright, so leave it right there. I want to leave it right there. So when we come back, this is what I want to focus on, to hit you over here with the real Ruach. Alright, the real Ruach. The real Ruach of Hawa. Okay, we must understand that if this people go up to do sacrifices in the house of Hawa, of the Lord at Yeharushalom, okay, then shall the heart of the people turn again into the Lord. Okay, not until then. So all the chit chatter, you can speak all the chit chatter you want. You can speak all the flabbergasted. You can get flabbergasted at preaching the Lord all you want to. But if ain't nobody in your family going to do sacrifices in the house of the Lord at Yeharushalom, the valley of weeping, the city of David, then we ain't talking about nothing. Okay, you're not talking about nothing. Because only then shall the heart of his people turn again to their Lord. That's what you have to do. That is what you must do. Okay? Not until then will the Hamashiach, will we see the face. Alright, people. I mean, you can think about it. But I've already thought about it, man, and I'm I've never asked you for a dime. I'm being true and trill, 144,000. I'm not trying to lead you to slaughter. That's why I defile anything that's not according to Scripture. And I ain't got paid over nothing to do that. Listen, man, I'm not following my own heart. That's why it was so easy for me to change, because I have a contrite heart. Okay, a contrite heart, a pure heart. And that's the only way I can come to you today and tell you, look, as the children of Yekah, as the children of Yasharella, as the Bari, okay, as the branches of the menorah, all I'm telling you is that what it says in 1 Kings 12 and 27, that's the problem we have to this day. If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of Yahweh at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again until their Father, their Creator, the Creator of the seas and of the earth. Okay? So until then, we ain't got nothing to talk about, man, but only getting there. Okay, so y'all get y'all passports up. We stay way up in the forest, way up. Okay, way up. We talking about Mount Zion, and it ain't in America. So get your passports, and I'll prove it. All right, but get your passports, because little do you know, you understand, the new year will be coming real soon. We talking about April, around that time. Okay, April, May. So depending on what Hawa say. But there's a destination for our people, the Valley of Weeping. Alright? The Valley of Weeping. Alright? So come on, people. Psalms 84. Let's Psalms 84 it up. Alright? We will return to the Valley of Weeping, the city of David, Yeharushalom, the Valley of Akkar. Alright, Lasharam, Hak Kadesh. We will be back. Yeshavat. Alright? Shalom, people. Shalom.